Welcome to an episode of the Coffee Roast Review Series Lockdown Edition with steamy glasses. So today we're reviewing DAK coffee roasters, roastery based in Amsterdam. So for all of our European followers, this will be a great one to check out. They've actually got free shipping over €50 across Europe. So no matter what country you're in, you can give these guys a try. So yeah, it's an Amsterdam-based coffee roastery. It was founded last year, so it's quite a new coffee roastery in 2019. These are actually 100% recyclable. So that's recyclable. The box that they come in is also recyclable, and it's also made from recyclable materials. So they're really sort of environmental conscious, making sure it's sort of low impact.
Nice.
You've got a roast date on the top left here on every bag, so that you can make sure that the coffee that you receive is very fresh. Coffee tends to be most optimum around a month after it's been roasted, all the way up to maybe sort of 3 months, and after then you do start to lose some of the characteristics of the coffee. So you know, a few days from roast, you don't want to drink it straight away. Give it a few days to sort of degas. There's a lot of carbon dioxide in the kind of roasting process that's let off by the beans, which is why they have these kind of one-way valves on the bags. So you want to give it a couple of days, but after a few days, it's going to be absolutely optimum, you know, for sort of 3-4 weeks. This is a naturally processed coffee, and here we have the Esperanza. This is a honey roast processed coffee. So 2 different processes which would be interesting to try. And like all of the other roast review series, what we've done ahead of time is we've tried both of these coffees in various different styles of drinks, from espressos to americanos to lattes, flat whites, cappuccinos. And once we've done that and we've nearly run out of the beans, then we can showcase to you what was our favorite type of drink for each of these coffees. So this is the Esperanza from Nicaragua. It's a honey-based processed coffee, which means that it's somewhere in between a natural process and a washed process. So as a lot of you would know, coffee is actually just the bean inside of a coffee cherry, and a wash process is just a way of getting rid of the cherry on the outside, so that when they dry it on, you know, big drying beds, then you're only drying the inside of the cherry itself. Natural process, which often comes from, for example, Ethiopian coffee, which have their own kind of characteristics, is where they leave the coffee cherry on in that kind of drying process before kind of removing it afterwards. So the honey process, somewhere in between the two, they remove part of the kind of cherry but leave a little bit of the mucilage, which is the kind of bit between the outer skin of the cherry and the inside bean. And what this does is that kind of mucilage has quite a sweet flavour to it. So as it dries on these coffee beds, it adds quite a lot of sweetness to the coffee. So with this one, it is a really kind of sweet coffee, which is really nice for those that might be adding sugar into their coffees already. I would completely advise, especially for honey process, not to do that. I personally don't put any sugar in coffee, no matter what. But you know, for those that do like a sweet coffee, honey process is a great place to start, isn't it? It's really balanced and it's really sweet. It's almost like you've added sugar to it, but you haven't. And that definitely, at least partially, comes from the honey process, which gives it that extra sweetness. So for those of you that do put sugar in your coffee, I would absolutely advise you for something like this, for a honey processed coffee, and especially this one from DAK. It's really lovely and sweet by itself. You really do not need any extra sugar. I'd give it a try. It's a really enjoyable milk-based drink. It's great as an espresso, but as a milk-based drink, this one is my favourite of the 2. So the diligente is a natural process from Guatemala. So a natural process is when they pick the cherry, the coffee cherry, and they allow it to dry naturally in the sunlight, and that allows some of that sweetness from the cherry to go into the bean, and it gives a nice kind of fruity flavour. So for the Diligente coffee, our favourite style of coffee was the espresso. So it's really nice in espresso. It's also really good in Americano. Sort of those drinks without milk, although it is really good in milk as well. Right off the nose, it's very much like forest fruits, wild berries, which is what they've described as sort of a flavour note on the packaging, and you really get that the moment you open the packaging. And this is, you know, a few weeks old even after we've already spent a few weeks going through this. It really smells like forest fruits. It's quite amazing. So if you are interested in getting a bag of DAK coffee roasters, they average around sort of 10 euros, anywhere between sort of 8 to 11, 12 euros per bag of coffee. And you obviously get small discounts as you get larger bags. With most roasters, that tends to be the case. So if you do drink a lot of coffee and you can go for sort of a kilogram, which might last you, for example, a month, then you can get some great savings.